Pass me not, O gentle Savior, hear my humble cry, while on others thou art calling. Do not pass me by.
Hi, I'm Dale Shores. In 2000, I wrote a play called Southern Baptist Sissies, and I thought I wrote it for me, but what I soon found out was I wrote it for a lot of other people too.
Hey everybody, it's Leslie Jordan. In Southern Baptist Sissies, I play Preston Leroy, Peanut, and I'm a sodden old queen. I don't know where Dale Shores got that idea.
Hi, I'm Dale Dickey, and I am playing Odette Annette Barnett in Southern Baptist Sissies.
Hi there, I'm Ann Walker. You may remember me as LaVonda Dupree from Sordid Lives. Well, there was another play that I did for Dale Shores called Southern Baptist Sissies.
I think it's important, Southern Baptist Sissies, because as a gay man who came out in the late 60s, I was around in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, I have seen the tide turn. We have a sitting U.S. president who is now on the side of the GLBT community. But what has not changed, and where we will always need work, is religious-based bigotry.
Hi, I'm Newell Alexander. I play the preacher in Southern Baptist Sissies. The preacher I play is pretty much iconic of all the hellfire and brimstone preachers who preach that God hates gays.
There's so many people who have been damaged by the church, by the words of politicians, by the words of preachers.
Across the country in churches, there are 10-year-old boys and girls sitting in pews being told that who they are is a sin that will send them to hell.
My grandfather was a hellfire and brimstone preacher, and I was around him when I was a young man. And I always knew that I wasn't an evil person, yet he told us that we all were evil and that we all were bad.
And there are parents with 15-year-old adolescents telling them the same thing, which means that we end up with 20-year-old young men and women that no matter how much as a society we tell them that who they are is beautiful and wonderful, the echo of that preacher or that parent saying that you are wrong and who you are is wrong stays with them and can stay with them long into life.
In 2008, I was performing in a club in Washington, D.C., and my phone started exploding backstage, and I turned it off because I knew it couldn't be good news. And after that show, I got a phone call that one of my very good friends, Kendall Moore, had hung himself. Kendall loved Southern Baptist Sissies because he was one of those boys. He was raised in the church in Mississippi, and he thought, I thought, many of us thought he had dealt with all of that, but I guess the damage was so intense and unhappiness, whatever, caused him to take his life. But I do know this, that a few days before his suicide, he spoke to his mother, and she said, "You have never been anything but a disappointment to us."
That kind of intolerance, the fact that it's still going on in today's world is maddening to me. And I'm not going to sit back, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight for what I believe in.
There's a wonderful line in Southern Baptist Sissies where one of the boys says to the other one, as they look around the Baptist church where they grew up, and they say, "It was in these pews that we learned to hate ourselves." And that's my story.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Alexander. I play Dr. Eve in Sordid Lives, and I had the great pleasure of creating the roles of the 3 different mothers in Southern Baptist Sissies. Mother of a drag queen, the mother of a man who's questioning everything that he hears in church on Sunday, and a very troubled young man who prays every day for God to take it away.
I have been so lucky over the years to have gotten to work with so many great actors and told so many different stories. But I have to say that Sissies is the closest piece to my heart. It is my story. I am a piece of all of those sissies.
Because there are kids like Mark that when they were young, they asked questions, and then they grew up to be the writers and the authors and the intellectuals in our community, like Dale, or the incredibly articulate Dan Savage. And then there are kids like Benny, the entertainers, the showmen, that as they grew up and embraced that uniqueness and that spirit, became icons of the community like RuPaul or Lady Bunny or Coco Peru. And then there are unfortunate ones like TJ who believed what the church told them about the life they were supposed to live and who they were supposed to be, and they grew up and got married and live in the closet in quiet and in shame, and they are people like Ted Haggard or Larry Craig, and who can actually do far more damage with their hypocrisy. But the real reason that we do this and why this piece is important is the kids like Andrew, the sweet, sensitive boys who, when they were told, you are a sin, you're a sinner, and who you are will send you to hell, they believed it. And we lose them and they don't grow up.
So many kids, so many teens, so many adults who are born gay, who are gay, raised in the church, feel less than.
And people that are alone and feel different and have no one to talk to and feel shame and guilt can often choose a different path with dealing with that thing, which is what leads me to the next point of the subject of suicide, which I think is so terribly, tragically present, particularly in our young gay males, particularly in the South. I have a personal dealing with suicide. My sister committed suicide. It was complicated, but when you came down to it, she was depressed, she was afraid, and she was alone and didn't feel like she had anyone to talk to. And that was her choice. And it's so tragic because there is hope.
There have been such a rash of suicides lately in the last couple of years, from bullying, from just self-loathing and the teachings of the church.
God doesn't hate people. God loves people. And the preacher that I play is clueless.
I'd like to return to this piece. I would like to return to these boys in Dallas, Texas, because of Billy Lucas, because of Seth Walsh, Tyler Clementi, Brandon Elizaris, and so many more who have taken their lives. Because if this piece can save one or two, then we've done our job.
Because during this time of very, very big political and right-wing policies against our gay community, it's this time in our lives when this story really needs to get out there.
It's a story that I think in a way is kind of preventative medicine.
So I think it's an important piece. It's timely, it's wildly funny, and yet it's very, very, very poignant.
And I'm glad that we're doing it now because young men need to know that they don't need to be troubled. There's nothing wrong with them, just the way they are.
It's a story about love and acceptance and overcoming the things that are put in our path that create so much distress for all of our young boys and girls who happen to come out as gay.
It's been a profound experience for me, the effect that this show has had on the audiences.
I know from the letters that Dale got and the fans, we were saving lives because it's one of those life-changing opportunities. So there's hope there, and I think that's what's so important, is to give people hope.
It is the one piece that I got so much mail from people saying that it was healing to them. So I am thrilled to return to this.
What Dale has done so beautifully with this piece is expose the experience of the youth and the anger of the adult to create a sense of healing and understanding.
I think it's a life-changing script. I think it's a life-changing story for many, many reasons, and an important story to be told, particularly in today's times. And so it's a real blessing when you get to be involved in a project that encompasses all of that, which is why I think the time is right for Southern Baptist Sissies.
We need your help. It's hard to make movies these days, and it's certainly hard to make a movie that is gay themed, but this is important. And we have found a way to tell this story again, and it's going to be magical. Please help us.
If you donate a lot of money, that's awesome.
If you can donate a little bit of money, that's just as awesome.
But if you donate a lot, we'll probably like you more.
Get in your pocketbooks. This is one needs to go.
So thank you for supporting Southern Baptist Sissies. We need to do this.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do